My book that came before Marco Polo is now available on Amazon. In this book, the compelling story of China's African ancestry is revealed. The readers are exposed to the African presence and impact on the Far East prior to the arrival of Marco Polo. With a special focus on China, the readers are shown the Chinese customs and traditions which have Black origins. It also goes into the Black Mongols' interaction with China, as well as the Swahili sailors' arrival in ancient China. The book also talks about the Black spiritual leaders who continue to guide China today and much, much more. This book is a must-reading for people of African descent. In recent years, many African American men have become passport bros and are now traveling to Thailand. Not only are they going to Thailand, but they're going to many countries in the Far East, for example, to Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, and basically countries in that region of the world. However, many passport bros should be made aware of the fact that when they go to Thailand, they are going to a land once occupied by their Black ancestors. Thailand has an ancient Black history, and that is the topic of this video. Please hear me out as I go more deeply into this topic. Many people are not aware of the fact that in the past, Southeast Asia was the home of great Black empires. For example, the Funan and the Angkor empires dominated Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and other nations in the region. These empires were composed of Black peoples. Many passport bros go to these countries. And when they arrive at these countries, they are actually arriving at a country which was once the stronghold of a powerful Black empire in Southeast Asia. Dr. Runoko Rishetti, in his book, African Star Over Asia, stated, in early Southeast Asia, the great kingdom of Angkor in Cambodia and were strongholds of Black power. The most prominent and enduring kingdom of early Southeast Asia was Angkor, which was from 802 to 1431. The builders of Angkor was an Africoid people known as the Khmers. I've spoke with Dr. Rishetti several times before his passing, I should say, and I have a great deal of respect for him. Dr. Runoko Rishetti goes on to say, in remote antiquity, the Khmers established themselves throughout a vast area that encompasses portions of the modern countries of Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Laos. I'm pointing this out just to show it's been documented. This area we're talking about in Southeast Asia, it was once the home of powerful Black empires in the past. Here's some additional documentation. Roland B. Dixon, a Harvard University anthropologist, described the Khmers as being marked by a distinctly short stature, dark skin, curly or even frizzly hair, broad noses, and thick negroid lips. Now, this goes back to what I've been saying, okay? Many passport bros should be made aware when they enter Thailand, they are entering into a country once controlled by a powerful Black people known as the Khmers. We have several noted individuals who said the Khmers were a Black people. One of those noted individuals is Dr. Clyde Winters, who, in his book, The Black Civilizations of Asia, stated, the Khmers were a very dark people with burnished skin, nearly black. Their hair was kinky. So, the Khmer were a Black people. Presented here is a map of the Khmer Empire. This map of the territorial reign of the Khmer Angkor Empire shows most countries in the region were under their sovereign rule. That includes Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. Basically, most of Southeast Asia was under their control. Let it also be noted, ancient travelers to the Khmer Empire have also stated these peoples were Black. Chinese merchants who traveled to the Khmer Angkor Empire in the past would describe them as small and Black. Now, when we say Southeast Asia was the home of powerful Black empires, we are basing this information on several sources, okay? For example, early Chinese writer Nan Si Chou, in his description of the people of Southeast Asia, wrote, for the complexion of men, they consider black the most beautiful. In all the kingdoms of the southern region, it is the same. Dr. Ivan Van Sertima pointed out, in the study of history, it's not enough to point out who was black. It's also important to show what those people did, show what makes them significant. Within the Khmer capital city of Angkor lies the temple of Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat demonstrates the Khmer's architectural genius. The temple is considered the largest religious structure in the world by the Guinness World Records. Angkor Wat has been described as an architectural masterpiece and the largest religious monument in the world, covering an area 4 times the size of Vatican City. It was built by the Khmer king Suryavarman II in the first half of the 12th century, around the year 1110 to 1150, making Angkor Wat almost 900 years old. Today, Angkor Wat is now the #1 tourist attraction in Cambodia. The temple receives thousands of visitors every year. I'm happy to say I've actually visited the temple of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and it was a unique experience. It's not enough to just look at pictures of the temple in books. When you're actually there and witnessing it firsthand, it's going to leave you with an impression that you won't forget. It was something else. Angkor Wat is an exceptional masterpiece. Many researchers are baffled as to how these people achieved such precision in their stone structures without the use of modern tools. As I've said, many passport bros visit Thailand. And when they arrive in this country, they are actually arriving in a country which was once the home of powerful black empires. It should also be noted indigenous black populations still reside in Thailand today. These groups have been living in Thailand for thousands of years. One example of these black indigenous inhabitants of Thailand is the Mani people. Now look at this photo, okay? Just look at this picture. Okay? You cannot tell the difference between the people in this picture and those of, say, an African American child living in one of the inner cities in America. Or the difference between them and, say, an African on the motherland. Okay, there's no difference. They're all black people and they're all from the same family. They're all just one people. And these people, like I said, are currently residing in Thailand. Okay, now this slide says the Mani people are the original Homo sapiens that traveled from Africa and settled in Thailand many years ago. They are the original Negritos who moved to their present residence in Thailand. They were there before the other ethnic groups came to form the Thai kingdom. So right now, the majority of the people who living in Thailand are Thais. Okay, the ethnic group that currently live and control Thailand are the Thai people, whom I do have a great deal of respect for. But they were not the original inhabitants of this country. Okay, they were not the original inhabitants of Thailand. Okay, the original inhabitants, the original people to come there, were the Mani people. Those were the Aboriginal people of Thailand. And as you can see, I mean, just look at this photo here. It says Blacks of Thailand. You cannot tell the difference between them and, say, some native of South Africa, some native of Ghana, some native of Nigeria, or some of the blacks in the inner cities of Chicago, Detroit, or New York. You can't tell the difference because they're all one people. And like I said, these were the first people to live in Thailand. He was also the architect of the great empires of Southeast Asia, the great empires of the Funan Empire and the kingdom of Angkor Wat. These were the people who did this. These were the people who created those great civilizations of Southeast Asia. And they're still there in Thailand today. Okay, and in this slide, it reads, the name Mani is of Mon Khmer origin and means human being. The Mani people speak a Toga language. The Mani, or forest people, as other Thai people call them, lives in the jungles of southern Thailand and in the Bantan mountain chain and around the Malaysian border in the province of Trang, Phatthalung, and Satun. Please excuse me if I butcher those names. The Mani people are of short stature, black complexion, with curly hair. They are facing extinction, and currently their total population is about 300. So these people are facing some challenges right now in Thailand. Okay, there's a difficult situation for them, and their survival is now currently being threatened. I also want to point out the Mani people, they do have a culture, they do have a tradition, they do have customs. And as with any ethnic group, their culture, their traditions, their way of life is supposed to be respected, it's supposed to be protected. It's supposed to be held with high esteem the way you would any people, any culture, any tradition, or any language family. These people need to be respected and their culture need to be preserved as we would with any group of people, with any ethnic group that we run across in this world today. Okay. This article reads that many people lives in groups known as bands. Many bands are made up of several families and usually comprise between 15 and 30 persons. They seem to regard this as the most convenient size for a band to make a living. Each family in a band has their thub or shack, which the Mani calls ayahs, or living quarters. Ayahs are built in a circle, all are facing inward to form a circular village center. Normally, a band consists of parents, their children, and other close relatives such as nephews and nieces. The band is led by a chief elected by all adult members. Members of the band must follow the instructions of their chief, while youngsters are, of course, also expected to listen to their parents. Okay, so we're just going to go down the line and survey the black communities in Southeast Asia. We're just going to take a quick look, a quick survey of our black brothers in that part of the world. Another black group known to have occupied Thailand is the Semang. The Semang present is seen in several countries in Southeast Asia. They have a strong representation in Malaysia. Many Malaysians view them as the original people to occupy that country. The Semang have traditionally lived as nomadic hunters. This lifestyle involves living off the land by hunting animals and cultivating crops. The culture of the Semang is currently in danger of extinction. Yes, like many of these groups right now, like I said, they live close to nature. They're very respectful of the natural world. However, because of the many things that now been presented to them that's now challenging them from the modern world, they are now in danger of extinction. Okay, their survival is now in jeopardy because these people live close to the environment, they live close to the land, and they're very respectful of plant life and animal life. And of course, they're going to go in complete conflict with the modern world and the modern way of thinking. This is why their survival is now in danger of extinction. Look at the sister in this photo, okay? She looked just like any sister that you would run across, say, for example, in Atlanta or Kentucky or even New York or New Jersey. Yet, this girl is a Semang, okay? The Malaysian government has made effort to remove the Semang from their land and resettle them in housing with modern appliances. More and more of them had to give up their nomadic way of life to live in settled communities. Many traditions of their past generations stand at risk of being lost. For example, the tradition of crafting by hand the Semang nose flute called the pencil. Similar to the American Indians in the U.S., the Semang identify very strongly with the land. They have waged many legal battles for the possession and ownership of their ancestral homeland in Malaysia. In 1989, the Center for Orang Asli Concerns, or COAC, was founded as an organized body to fight for the rights of the Semang in Malaysia. The reason why I was talking to you guys about the Semang is so that I can introduce you to this slide right here. There was also a Semang community in Thailand. Featured in this slide is an early 1900 photo of a Semang orphan boy in Thailand. Okay. And again, you look at this photo, you, unless somebody told you that he was a native of Thailand, that he was a member of the Semang community, you would automatically assume this kid is from America or from the African continent. Yet, look at the nose, look at the hair, look at the skin color, and what immediately come to your mind would not be Thailand. Okay, that would not be the first thought that jumped into your head when you see this photo. Yet, this man, this little boy, he's a native of Southeast Asia. He's part of the original Aboriginal community to come to this part of the world, this region of the world. They were the first people to come here and build the great civilizations of Thailand. This native boy, whose name was Khanung, please forgive me if I mispronounce his name. He was actually adopted by the king of Thailand. Okay? He was adopted in 1906 during the king's state visit to the southern provinces of Thailand. Okay? Khanung was adopted by the king Chulalongkorn. Please forgive me if I mispronounce the name. Please forgive me for that. This king was the leader who ruled from 1868 to 1910. Again, I mean, just look at these photos. Look at this picture, okay? Look at this boy in this picture, okay? When you see these photos, the first thing that will come to your mind, the first thought that would hit your head would not be Thailand. No, it would not. Okay? Yet, this is a native born who lived in Thailand. Okay? He was part of the Semang community who resided in Thailand. But that is not the thought that would come to your head when you see him. Because he is part of the universal community of black people all over the world. Okay? Black people occupy most of this world. There was once a time, like Dr. Ivan Van Sertima has said, like Dr. Renoka Rishetti has said, there was once a time when the only people that lived on this planet were black people. And he is just a remnant of that original population that occupied Thailand and the rest of the world. Okay, like I said, when you make a claim like this, you have to present evidence from various sources, okay? The slide you just saw before is pretty strong evidence in and of itself. But still, we have more. Another evidence of Thailand's black history is the numerous black Buddha figures depicted by the Khmers and other black groups that once lived in this region of the world. Okay, like I said before, when you make a claim, you have to present evidence from various sources, okay? Okay, you just can't make a claim out of thin air. You got to show what you're standing upon. What is your foundation for that claim? And I think this photo right here, the photos on this slide is pretty freaking strong evidence backing of our claim. Okay, we're going to take our time with this one. Yeah, we're going to go real slow with this one. Look at this photo. Look carefully at this photo. Look at the two Buddha figures in this photo. Look at the curls on their hair. Look at the knots in their hair. Look at the naps in their hair. Okay? And then just compare those curls, compare those knots, compare those naps with the hair under these two black women in the photo. Okay? Like I said, when you make a claim, you have to come up with evidence. You have to cite what you're standing upon. What is your foundation for that claim? And I think this photo is pretty freaking strong evidence, pretty strong freaking support for our claim of the black Buddha figures in Southeast Asia. Yeah, I think so. And in case we have a few racist knuckleheads out there who still, can't believe what their own two eyes is showing them, I want to present this to you, this slide here, where it says, in 1883, the African American scholar George Washington Williams wrote, in the temples of Siam, or Thailand, we find the idols fashioned like unto Negroes. So just look at this photo of this Buddha figure from Thailand from the year 800 AD. Take a close look at that. And here's another photo to feast your eyes on. Okay, again, look at the Buddha figure. Okay, look at the hair. Look at the curls on the hair. the close curl knots on the hair. And at the same time, compare that to the hair on the right, the hair of the black woman on the right. Look at the curls. Look how it's knotted like that. It's similar to the Buddha figure. Okay, it's the same type of hair. You can't get that kind of hair with straight hair. Only kinky hair you can get that kind of effect with it. Look closely. Look at that. Only kinky hair can you get that kind of effect like that, which tell you the racial identity of the Buddha, which tells you the racial identity of the people who produce those Buddha figures in Southeast Asia, the racial identity of the people who produce those Buddha figures in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, in Southeast Asia. That's just a direct visual testimony of who those people were. Who were the people that produced those images? For those who, for some reason, can't seem to believe their own two eyes, the evidence don't lie. Evidence doesn't care what color you are. Evidence doesn't care what you think about it. Evidence doesn't care about your opinion. This evidence is just cold facts. Okay, as I said before, the Angkor Wat temple in Siem Reap, Cambodia is the country's #1 tourist attraction. However, there are also a number of Khmer temples complexes in Thailand. Okay, the Khmer also built temple structures in Thailand also. Their presence is not just restricted to Cambodia. Like I said, the Khmer Empire, it encompasses most of Southeast Asia. They control the country that was under their sovereign rule, included Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. Most of Southeast Asia was under their sovereign rule. And because of that, you can find Khmer temples all over Southeast Asia, not just in Siem Reap, Cambodia. There are a number of Khmer temples in Thailand that you can go see. An example of that is this temple here, which is 1,000 years old, and it is located in the Buriram province in northeast Thailand, which is not far from the border of Cambodia. Like I said before, there are many Khmer temples which are scattered all over Thailand. Okay, so those of you who are in Thailand, if you want to see Khmer architectural genius, there are temples here where you can see that. Okay, you don't have to go to Cambodia to see the work of the Khmer people. Okay, there are several temples scattered throughout Thailand. Another example of that is there's also the Phnom Rung temple. The Phnom Rung is probably the most impressive and significant of the Khmer temples in Thailand. It was constructed in the Angkor style during the 10th until the 13th century as a Hindu temple dedicated to the god Shiva. It was built on top of a hill in Buriram province. There's also 6 other impressive Khmer monuments spread across Thailand. Like I said, there are several temples here in the country of Thailand. I want to reiterate what Dr. Ivan van Sertima pointed out. In the study of history, he said, it's not enough to point out who was black. It's also important to show what those people did. Show what makes them significant. It appears the Khmer people had a significant impact on the culture of modern-day Thailand. Dr. Clyde Winters in The Ancient Black Civilizations of Asia stated, both the Vietnamese and the Thai tribes learned their culture, architecture, religion, and writing from the Khmers. I want to thank you all for listening to my lecture.